Okay, ready? This is how fast you were going.
I am Reverend Alita Ward. I'm the co-pastor of Greenfield Hill Congregational Church, and as part of my portfolio here, I have the awesome job of overseeing all our youth groups, which is one of my favorite parts of being a minister. SPF, like a lot of church youth groups that were started way back when, was, I'm gonna guess, started to be kind of a Sunday school for teenagers. That's how most youth groups started. What happened with SPF is that it kind of evolved over the years. And yes, we do have a religious base, but we welcome people from all faith backgrounds to be a part of it. We've created this kind of personality for SPF that says that it is a safe place, it's a welcoming place, you're free to bring your friends. They don't have to believe exactly the same thing you believe, because we're all going to meet in the middle and learn and listen and love one another, essentially.
All right, Hug a Tree is a strange game. I'm not even sure it can be called a game. It's more like an adventure. So you find somebody that you trust, or maybe you meet them for the first time and decide to trust them. So the deal is one person puts on a blindfold and the other person or persons has to lead them in a confusing, spin them around kind of way to a tree somewhere in this garden, and they have to hug it, which means they have to actually put their hands on the bark and reach up, and they're supposed to get to know the tree. I know this sounds bizarre.
I mean, just bend a little.
So I feel like I started coming to SPF only last year, and I'm a senior. I feel like I came because the environment is a lot different from Fairfield. So you're kind of forced to be with people that you normally would never be friends with. And it's a whole different interaction. It's a really great experience. My favorite part about SPF is I don't go to school in Fairfield anymore, so it's a nice time once a week to see all of my Fairfield friends again. And it's a time to disconnect from my homework and my phone and to come hang out with everyone and just de-stress.
For me, the entire purpose of SPF is to give people a place to simply be, to be together, to connect with one another, to connect to God, if that's what happens, but most of all, to know that they are welcome and accepted just as they are. And whatever story they have to say is worthy of us listening to it, and whatever stories they hear are worthy of being heard. You could put it very simply and say that it's a safe space, but it's much more than that.
Alright, so I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about myself, and then I really want to give time to let you guys ask questions, and then I'd also like to know a little bit about you. So I would probably try to ask you guys some questions, and if you feel comfortable and you want to answer, go for it. And if you don't want to answer, there's no pressure. Okay?
At SPF, I've always tried to strike a balance between having people come in and share their stories with us, so having outside speakers come who have something interesting to say or a perspective that we might not have thought about, and then also time simply to listen to one another, so we'll have an open topic night where people get to choose what they want to talk about. And then at least some of it just has to be fun. So we will have games nights too, where you might just be trying to knock somebody off a balance beam with a pillow, or chasing each other around the room with pool noodles, or whatever it is. So that balance of hearing other people's stories, listening to our own stories, and then just being totally goofy together has kind of been my secret recipe for SPF, I guess you'd say.
My favorite part about SPF is the friends I've made. My favorite part is seeing people that I don't usually get to see.
My favorite part is all the different grades bonding and creating a big community at Fairfield.
The reason I like coming to SPF is really all about what goes on with the kids, just to find out what's going on in their world, learn more about them, and if there's anything that we can do as advisors to help them do what they do, and to find success somewhere.
The truth is, I often say to people, and I'm not kidding, that even if this weren't my job, I would be at SPF. I would be one of the adult leaders hanging out in the Len Morgan Youth Barn enjoying SPF. I think it's that special and that sacred and that important that the world needs, and I'm totally committed to it being a part of my ministry, and I just love it. I would like to think that in this era, which is, let's face it, incredibly stressful and overwhelmed with sometimes pretty bad news coming at us from all places, that SPF can be a place where people can let all that go and simply be. At SPF, you don't have to wear a mask. You can just be whoever you are. And that is absolutely the spirit of what we've continued over all these years. It's a place simply to be authentically yourself and to be accepted just as you are.